Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to achieve this eye makeup look. It's very simple, basic, and more of an everyday kind of look. So let's get started. So here I have my Morphe Eyelid Primer in Translucent. I love this primer, it works great and it's affordable, but you could use any primer. It's just important to have one so you could see the true pigment in the eyeshadow you're using. Next I'm using my Morphe M432 brush. I like to use a flat, more square shaped brush only because it's easy to go underneath your eyebrow and spread evenly throughout the whole eyelid. I think it's important to have a smaller brush just so you have more control. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit of my primer onto the brush. You're going to completely cover the whole lid. So start from the lid into the crease and then underneath the arch of your eyebrow. And after you're done with this side, you're just going to continue to do the same thing on the other side. So next I'm using my Mercier translucent setting powder. I like to use a translucent powder as my base, but you can actually even use a light eyeshadow that's close to your skin tone. Next I have my Morphe M503 brush. I like to use this style of brush just because I'm using a loose powder, so it actually holds the powder really well to the brush and onto my eyelid. As you can see, I'm tapping and just rubbing very lightly across the whole lid. If you're using a loose powder like me, you just want to slightly tap that excess powder off of the brush just so that doesn't fall all over your face. So next I'm using my Morphe M441 brush. You want to use a little bit more of a loose and wider brush just for the crease of your eye. Next I'm using a palette with more neutral colors. I love Carli Babel's Anastasia palette, but you can use anything with neutrals. I'm using the color Chai, but you can use something that's a few shades darker than your actual skin tone. So next I'm just gonna dip my brush into my color and just gently go in the crease of my eye. Now if you have more of a hooded eyelid like I do, I recommend going above your crease just slightly, more near the arch of your eyebrow, just because it gives you more of that contour. Next I'm using the color Boy. You want to use a color that's about 2 shades deeper than the color you just used in your crease. The next brush I'm using is the Morphe E17 brush. This brush is similar to your crease brush, just a lot smaller. As you can see, it's still round on top. So you're going to dip this into your shade and you're going to slightly brush this onto the corners of the outside of your eyelid. As you can see, I am going in more of a circular motion, but I am also staying in the corner of the crease of my eye. It's important that you don't bring this darker shade too high. Now you're going to slightly work your brush into the crease towards the middle of your eyelid. So it's very important not to bring that darker shade all the way to the inner crease of your eye. That would give you more of a sunken in look, and we want your eye lids to look more elongated and to give you more of that cat eye shape. So now I'm going to continue to do the same thing on the other eye. And don't worry if you feel that this dark color is not blended as good. We will go back in with a different brush to blend that into that crease color. So now I'm taking my Morphe E22 brush, and this brush is in between the big brush and the little brush that you use. So that's your crease brush. Now this is the blending brush to the right, and you are going to use that to blend in that darker shade. So now I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip it into a shade that is a little bit more shimmery. The shade that I'm using is called Moo. This will brighten up the eye. It adds a little bit more color and it helps blend in those two shades together. Next, I'm using the Natasha Denona Mini Star Palette. The color that I'm using is called 103M Bellatrix. This color has more warmth and a shade darker than the last color we just used. Next, I'm using the Morphe M167 brush. This is more of a flat brush and a little tighter, not as loose. Next, I'm just going to dip this into that color. And you're just gonna rub it across the top of the lid. You don't wanna go in the inner part of the eye or the corner, just the lid. So I'm actually gonna use this same brush and I'm gonna dip it into the color Bali. If you're not using this palette, just pick a color that's a few shades lighter than your skin tone. This is for your highlight. And you're just gonna run this color right underneath your eyebrow and just be careful to not put it all over your eyebrow. It needs to stay right underneath. So now I'm gonna use this brush again. I'm gonna dip it back into Moo. That's the color that we used in the middle of our crease to blend the two shades. So I'm just gonna run this color in the inner corner of my eye just for that highlight look. I like to place this on my eyelids too, just to give you that pop of brightness and shimmer. I'll then go in and just tap underneath the arch of my eyebrow just to give you, again, that highlight shimmer look. And this is just going over the colors that you already have on your eyelid. So now using that same brush and the same color, we're gonna work underneath the eye. So you're gonna start from the inner corner and work your way underneath that waterline. Next, I'm using my Morphe M508 brush. So it's important to use this size because the thicker the brush, the harder it is to get underneath near that waterline. So now I'm gonna go back to that darkest contour color, Boy, and I'm gonna add that to the outside corners of my waterline. As you can see, I'm lightly dabbing it and just slightly rubbing it into the corners. I'm not going all the way through to the inner part of my waterline. I like doing this better than using an eyeliner just because it makes your eyes look bigger. Next, I'm using my Morphe M160 brush. This is a small angled brush. Some people use this for eyebrows, but you can also use this as an eyeliner brush as well. I'm just gonna dip this into our darkest contour shade Boy. I'm just gonna tap the excess color off and run this along the top of my eyelid like I would an eyeliner. This is more of a natural way to do an eyeliner. It's soft and it's not so harsh. You can even take the corner angle of the brush and give yourself a little wing. Now, because I have the individual lashes on, I like to use a liquid eyeliner. I use Tarts Sex Kitten just to brush the top of my lashes if any excess color fell. It just gives you that fresh look. Now we're moving on to mascara. I use the Buxom brand. I like that because if you bought my lash kit and you have individual lashes, you'll see that the bristles on this are pretty short, so it really works well with the lashes. As you can see, I'm just slightly hitting the ends of my lashes. I'm not really going too hard. I'm pretty gentle because I don't want them to fall out. I like to add a little mascara to my bottom lashes as well. I just think it completes the eye. And here's the finished look. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video you saw today, please like and subscribe to my channel.